How's it going, everyone? It's your boy Dynaqlo, aka the Dig Dug himself, and back again with some more Monster Hunter Generations gameplay. And today we're going to be discussing the differences, the changes, and pretty much what the Deadeye Yian Garuga is in this particular Deviant Explained video. We'll say this about him though right off the rip: he's just like the standard Yian Garuga. He's really crazy. So if you remember how crazy the standard Yian Garuga was, this guy's no different. He's just as crazy, if not crazier. But before we actually get into the nit-grit on what makes him different, let's discuss on what it takes to actually unlock the quest. Now, for starters, the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to go to your hub city, go to HR 5, and you want to complete the quest, Worst Trip Ever. Once you do that, you'll be given the ability to purchase the tickets from your chamber maiden or your feline cat, what have you. I said chamber maiden, did I? Housekeeper. I'm sorry. Once you purchase the tickets from, whomever which you actually have the ability to purchase tickets from, you can actually go and fight the Yian Garuga. Now, right off the rip, the first thing you're probably going to notice about the Yian Garuga, the Deadeye Yian Garuga, is that he's purple and green. Now, from what I'm told, the green that is actually on his body is technically moss. Now, I'm not exactly sure as to why moss is growing on his body as it is on the tips of his wings and his tails and what have you, but I don't really know. I want to say maybe he was reclusive and like stayed in the bushes somewhere, and then like moss grows on tree stumps that fallen over. Maybe it kind of went with that kind of route. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's because this is where he actually lives, because the Yian Garuga himself normally lives here, but the standard Yian Garuga lives here as well. So I'm not exactly sure as to why that's the case. But he is green, and the green is supposedly moss. Take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. Now, another thing you'll notice right off the bat is that if you look at his eye, his quote-unquote, his only good eye, I guess you could say, or it could be his dead eye, I'm not 100% sure. It has what I like to call the Narg trail. If you guys remember Nargacuga, when the Nargacuga becomes enraged, it has glowing red eyes. Red eye, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the left eye. It glows red, and it's like a trail. It's pretty cool. You should see it on the screen here. It's a unique feature to, I want to say, the Nargacuga and now the Deadeye Yian Garuga, probably to further incent the fact that he has indeed a dead eye. Also known as one-eye Yian Garuga in Japan, this Yian Garuga only has one eye. And true to snuff, Yian Garuga is one of these monsters who always comes to a battle more so always beat up. He has one eye and one ear, so that's that. Other than that, he's actually a lot smaller than the standard Yian Garuga. Normally, deviant monsters are normally bigger than the standard counterparts, but the Deadeye Yian Garuga is not so fortunate this time around. He's actually a lot smaller, similar to that of the Crystal Beard Urigan, which was also smaller than the standard Urigan. But not all deviant monsters have to follow the same status quo. It's not making a monster bigger what changes them, but it's abilities. And speaking of its abilities, let's go over the new things that this guy has, and then we'll just swarm back around over to what's standard, normal, we all know and love. Now, I'm gonna give it with the biggie. Well, the second biggie. I want to deal with this one first. He has what I like to call the Supercharge. Now, we all know that the Yian Garuga and the Raytheon, they all have these charges where they just run around and just like try to run you over, right? They do a fairly decent amount of damage, and it causes a lot of people grief. Now, the Yian Garuga, the Deadeye Yian Garuga has what I like to call a Supercharge, where he will bow his head down, charge like he's charging up, and then he shoots off with a huge burst of speed. Now, this particular attack is very fast. When I mean not only is it fast, he covers the ground quickly. Him initiating the attack, there's almost no build up outside of the actual charge itself. So he will hit you with full on 100% speed as soon as he lets go of his actual charge. It's like a 3-frame attack or something like that. You have it's almost impossible to react immediately. If you're close on him, you're gonna get hit. It's pretty crazy. There's almost no tells when he goes for it's just charge, like he's charging, and then boom, the actual attack itself. It's kind of hard to actually get a good read on him, but it's a Supercharge. It hits in a 180-degree radius, so if you're within 180 degrees of him, you can still get hit if he chooses to go your way. Now, there is wind pressure to it as well, and he kicks up mad dust and everything, but it just looks pretty, I guess, to further insinuate the fact that he's charging with extreme speed. Now, let's move over to some of the poisons, because Yian Garuga is a poison-based monster. Now, if you guys remember, if you refer to my Toxic Queen Raytheon video, what's it called? Dread Queen. Japanese name stuck in my head. If you go to that video, I did say that it was the only one with the new deadly poison ability. I was wrong, and I fully take responsibility for that. So I'm going to retcon that and say that only that Raytheon and this Deadeye Garuga have it. Now, Deadeye Garuga does have it, but not in the same aspect as the Toxic Queen Raytheon. It can only do it off of a tail flip. Now, that's only the case if its tail is not broken, not cut, but broken. If you break its tail, it can't do the deadly poison with the tail flip. It will do fatal poison, which also something that I said wasn't in this game as well. I apologize for that. But fatal poison is what we all lovingly refer to as G rank poison, where it's the 3 poison bubbles that drain your health really quickly. So he only actually does that with the tail flip when his tail is broken and cut, I guess, as well. And when he tail whips. Okay, there's flips and whips. Flips or flips. Whips or when he's just like spinning in a circle, okay? Fatal poison with the whips, deadly poison with the flips. Just remember that. So lastly, he has what I want to call the beak slams. We all know what these are, where he'll slam his face down once, twice, 3 times. But this one, he has a standard once, twice, 3 times. He can do it just the once, but he also has an ability to where he can do it, and he'll do it really slowly. Now, him doing it slowly is done for one thing. It's just to really set you off, like get your timing out of whack. He'll do it, and then he'll either go from beak to charge, or beak to fireball, or beak into another beak. But the speed in which he does is kind of slow, so it gets me sometimes. Like I'll dodge one, and then I see that he's not really doing anything, but he goes right back to the beak slam as well. It's a feint, if anything, so you have to watch for that. But other than that, that's pretty much all the new things about this guy. So with that being said, let's talk about his weaknesses. Now, this guy, his weaknesses are pretty standard. I mean, honestly, truth be told, he's one of the fewer monsters who, not necessarily fewer, but he's one of the other monsters whom of which standard raw damage don't really do that much to him. So you really want to go in here with some water, okay guys? You can kind of get away with ice, you can kind of get away with dragon, but I strongly suggest you come in here with ice because it has a huge multiplier on its back. Do you see that? That's a huge multiplier. On top of that, if you really want to make the most of it, come in here with the aerial or something like an insect glaive, so that way you can take big advantage of that. Get the hard knockdown, hit him in the back, hit him in the head. It's really the only way you can actually do any kind of raw damage to him, if you hit him in the back or the head, or if you just decide to, give him what for by standard means and what have you. But for the most part, that's pretty much it when it comes to his weaknesses. Totally bring water. Not much you can really bring. You can technically get away with ice. You can technically get away with dragon, but remember he's element heavy base, so you're gonna do the most damage when you use elemental weapon that is actually high on the element and that is weak against him. So look at monsters who have relatively low attack but a high element to actually fight them off. Okay, so moving over, let's talk about the Deadeye's weapons and gear and what have you. Now, I'll say this, a lot of his weapons are kind of hit and some are kind of miss. I mean, that's not a pun, but I will honestly admit that even the ones that are technically a hit, they are technically also outclassed by the Dread Queen Raytheon, simply because that's that. But first, let's talk about the armor. The armor looks really dope if you want aesthetics. It's a really cool thing. I like it a lot, but it's not just about the armor, it's about the skills. Now, the Deadeye armor comes with Repeat Offender, Guts, and Deadeye Soul. Repeat Offender, the more you hit a monster, the higher your affinity goes. Guts is basically Moxie, meaning you can take a fatal hit but then actually recover with 1 HP. And Deadeye Soul gives you Negate Stun and Challenger +2. Challenger +2 is the better of the skills. I mean, Negate Stun is kind of terrible if you ask me. But his weapons, let's talk about the weapons real quick. Now, the weapons aren't really all that good, like I said prior. I mean, some of them are really decent, like, the long sword, the lance, the gun lance, but the great sword, sword and shield, hammer, and there's another weapon I can't think of right now, but the dual blades, excuse me. None of those 4 weapons actually have a poison element. It's kind of weird how this is a poison monster and only most of the weapons have poison. Some of them really actually don't. They actually give up their poison for more raw attack, 20 plus to be exact. And honestly, it's not really worth it in my honest opinion, but the weapons are kind of hit and miss. Like I said before, if you really are about these poison weapons and you want a deviant poison weapon, you're kind of better off with the Dread Queen stuff. But I will admit his light bowgun is actually pretty nice. I will admit. So if you're a gunner, maybe the guns might intrigue you, but for the Blade Master weapons, I highly recommend you guys look elsewhere. I mean, Dread Queen practically has it all down for you. But with that being said, everyone, it's been your boy Dynaqlo, aka the Dig Dug himself. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching and coming to kick in with your boy. We're almost done with this. We have 2 more of these guys left. We have Dread King and we have Hellblade. So pick which one you'd like to see, and then we'll do the one afterwards. I totally plan on knocking both these things out within the same week. As soon as I get myself a back-to-back day off, I will totally kill both of them at the same time for you and have one uploaded one day and one the next. But with that being said, it's been your boy Dynaqlo. Hopefully you guys found this video relatively informative. If you found it helpful, let me know. Take care and enjoy the hunts, and may the desired sensor forever be in your favor, because you're totally gonna need it, because these things, well, these monsters, this monster, it sucks. Like, it's kind of hard to fight. I don't really like fighting him personally. He's kind of a dick. Sorry. It's the poison. Take care, guys.